don't come, oh, yo, yo.
Person where they do even no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you laugh.
Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
My people make you shout.
Oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará yìí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism, kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary.
Thank you so much for joining me. I have been dealing with a lot of, new add-ons to my equipment and all that, right? So some of them have been kind of giving me some little headache. So sorry that we are starting late again, but I will make it up to you. I will make it worth your wait. So share this broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun today.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Arewa de para. Northerner are paraing. Because they seems to have been sort of deceived. Kind of. However, Oti bossa gidio, it don't turn to threats if them born and well, make him move CBN operation to Lagos and see first. This say Lagos, I mean Nigeria and Lagos. Ndume ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò.
Thank you. Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast. Like it, share it. We are starting in a moment.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra jù. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Thank you.
Mayegun ti dé.
Motide. So, good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun and it is live. Yesterday, I brought to you the first public outbursts from the circle of Arewas. Before then, I told you it was the Sharia Council of Nigeria that said this wasn't what they bargained for. The Muslim ticket that they did everything in their words, so in order to make Tinubu their president. Now, it seems to be a very bad market and investment, followed by the Arewa. Arewa Consultative Forum is just like the elite circle of the northern political class, elite circle, combination of them all, you know, the real beneficiaries of the quota system. So when they said that Tinubu announced that they were moving some operations of the Central Bank of Nigeria to Lagos, that didn't sit well with them. According to them, in case if you have not been following, they suspect that Tinubu is working towards breaking up of Nigeria. But it's not telling them. But before that, he wanted to take back some of the institutions at the central of Nigeria back to the western part of Nigeria before they will now say, okay, let us restructure Nigeria or something like that. So they are suspecting him that he was up to something. And when this man spoke yesterday, I'm going to replay that so that can bring you up to date before I take you to Ndume's part. According to him, moving this part of operations of these major institutions to Lagos is just the tip of the iceberg. And being the tip of the iceberg means this is just the beginning. And to them in northern Nigeria, that is unacceptable.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
First step of Tinubu, the CBN is just the start. There will be more, and they are worried, they are scared, and they said it is going to threaten the unity of Nigeria. So, remember, Sharia Council, then the Arewa Consultative Forum, where Dalatu, their BOT member or chairman, said this yesterday. Just let's flash back a minute.
Traditional title. All right, talk to us about the ACF's problems and with the Tinubu administration on these issues, which has made a lot of people within this apex organization in the north to actually voice their concerns, including the ACF pushing out a statement that the Tinubu government should have a rethink over the policies.
Thank you very much. Well, to understand the position of the Area Consultative Forum and I believe majority of Northerners now is to first of all go into a little bit of history so that people will now be able to understand why Area is feeling a bit apprehensive. Anybody my age and above will remember how prosperous this country was, and especially the northern region, based on the agricultural output and activity of the majority of our population. Then there was the discovery of oil, and then everybody forgot about agriculture, and the rush into oil had caused a very serious deficit in the performance of agriculture and food production, and therefore making the economy work in various directions. That rush has left. Obviously, when there are less activities in agri sector, means that there will be less economy and economic activity and money and prosperity in those areas that depend entirely on agriculture, which is northern Nigeria. Now, with that also come along the other government programs, projects, some of them deliberate, some of them, I think, innocent lack of foresight, that further made northern Nigeria far more apprehensive and began to feel that something must have been amiss. We have been brought up, my generation and those before me, to believe in the oneness of Nigeria, to work, to protect, to promote the oneness of this country, to unify it, to be united and to love our neighbors. So, but when programs like the current one you are talking about,
the planned relocation of
the planned relocation is just the tip of the iceberg, really. It started much earlier than that. We were here when, in 1999, we were part of the Port Authority. Nigerian Port Authority was removed from Abuja back to Lagos. Nigerian International Institute of International Affairs, and I think maybe NIMASA were returned to Lagos, and we thought it was really not a very, very well-intentioned thing to do at that time. Now that will quickly, we recall other government actions that had put us backwards, like the privatization of industries in Nigeria.
Government-owned enterprises.
Yes, government-owned enterprises were privatized, and this was after the petroleum discovery and the rush and the businesses that took place. Naturally, those in the proximity of the source of wealth were getting it easier than those that are far away from it. So there were...
Because some of you have sort of heard that yesterday, I just wanted to use that to joggle and refresh our, our minds and our memories before we, delve into the continuation, because this is continuation of that. Listen, these guys, they live off government. And you see these institutions, majority of them, they have no business being in Abuja. When you talk of NIMASA, that has to do with maritime Abinkon, their headquarters shouldn't be anywhere else than either Lagos or Niger Delta. Here you get, NNPC headquarters should not be in Abuja. It should be somewhere in Port Harcourt or Niger Delta. So that the people in that area, they will be those managing the oil for the country, owning it and all of that stuff. Every job, contract that has to do with it within that space will be done there. If you are interested in oil, go to Niger Delta part of Nigeria and start living there. Not sleep in your, in your mansion in Sokoto and be controlling oil blocks in Niger Delta. Why the people that are there? But do you know why they are upset? It's because even though, see, if you are watching me from northern Nigeria, I may actually be doing you a favor. I know they have the same way they are using your heads in northern Nigeria, right? It's the same way they are using the heads of the Mumus in the south. But I know some of you are already being told to organize on how to start protesting that Tinubu should not move this or move that. Listen to me very well. Some of you are going to be paid, Abi, from northern Nigeria to begin to spread tribal, ethnic, religious, hateful messages because say Tinubu call you, want to move institutions of Nigeria to somewhere else. So make I tell you this. So I'm not saying you shouldn't do the job if they give it to you. But listen to me. You see all these guys, like I said, they all live on government. Majority of the parastatals, ministries, they were filled by their children. Not you. One sec. I think we have interruption, so don't go anywhere. Give me a sec. I'll look that up.
If you talk about transferring FAAN to Lagos because there are more airline activities in Lagos than in Abuja, then you should take the Ministry of Commerce to Onitsha or Kano because there is far more commercial activities in Onitsha and Kano than in Abuja. You should take the Ministry of Education or Agriculture to Makati, where there is a lot of agricultural activity and food production. You can distribute these ministries to locations according to the kind of activity you can identify. But that is not the intention or the reason or the purpose of establishing a federal capital territory. It's supposed.
Sorry about that. I quickly had an interruption in my, in my camera there. I don't know why. But in case it happened again, okay, I'm just going to apologize to all of us ahead of time. I promise that it will never happen again after tonight, okay? So that's surprising. So as I was saying, these ministries, they were filled with their children, majority of them, who never passed through the same process like the rest of you. When they want to recruit for NSCDC, civil defense, they will throw the job application open. And the poor you, graduates applying to become civil defender, you will see them 400,000 application for just space of 10,000. When they want to recruit for police, recruit policemen, they will throw it open. And then you see the application, 500,000 unemployed youth applied for 30,000 police jobs. When they want to apply for soldiers, those ones they were going to use to replace those who have run away from their maltreatment, they will throw that open to all of you, graduates, somebody who went to school to study engineering, to go and study, somebody who is a science student, professional here and there, because of no job, no nothing. To survive, he will go and pick a form for our military. He wants to be a soldier. But when there is employment or opportunities in Central Bank of Nigeria, you won't see the advert. When they have employment opportunity in NNPC, you won't see it everywhere. When they have it in NIMASA, Ministry of Finance, this ministry, that ministry, you won't see them publicly everywhere. They only give them to the sons and daughters of senators, families and daughters of governors, families and daughters of ministers, and all of these elderly men and women from northern Nigeria, from southern Nigeria. So before you collect that 20,000 naira to begin to spread hatred, Yorubas are this, Igbos are that, Hausas are that, all because of this central bank nonsense. Remember, if they are seeing job opportunities on the road, it is not one of those that you can stumble on because you are the most brilliant students, the best graduating students. No. It's not for you. It's for their children schooling abroad. What do you call it? My screen off again.
If you talk about transferring FAAN to Lagos because there are more airline activities in Lagos than in Abuja, then you should take the Ministry of Commerce to Onitsha or Kano, because there is far more commercial activities in Onitsha and Kano than in Abuja. You should take the Ministry of Education or Agriculture to Makati, where there is a lot of agricultural activity and food production. You can distribute these ministries to locations according to the kind of activity you can identify. But that is not the intention or the reason or the purpose of establishing a federal capital territory. It's supposed to be in itself a symbol of unity, a symbol of togetherness of this country. The moment you start dismembering ministries back to Lagos, first you are establishing a precedence, which means next government it comes on and it doesn't happen to come from the south, will now return them or transfer others from Lagos back to Abuja, and it will
or
be
maybe
done,
Kaduna
or
also.
Kaduna, or Sokoto, or Calabar, or things like that. So the intention really is to make institutions symbolic of our unity, symbolic of the purpose of this country, and not to give reasons. If you say congestion, when you mention congestion in relation to cities, anybody you talk about congestion will first think of Lagos before he thinks.
But well, the CBN is saying that it's building, the CBN headquarters here is supposed to actually house 3,000 employees, but it has over 4,000. And the CBN spends money sending its own staff to go to Lagos to spend 2 months, 3 months to do certain jobs, which normally should have been domiciled in Lagos, and that is spending so much. So, for effectiveness, the CBN is saying that it wants to decongest its headquarters. And people are wondering, why is the ACF, or why are northerners or northern leaders or elites actually having a problem with that?
First of all, the CBN building and the staff must have been in Abuja for nearly 30 years now. Yes. And we never heard about this until suddenly it came up. That's one. Two, we know that in Lagos, the banking supervision department is very strong. In Lagos already, it never moved to Abuja, so it could.
Anyway, once again, I apologize. I think my camera was doing sort of an internal overheating, so I'm sorry and I apologize about that. But I actually wanted you to hear that too. Okay, so like I said, or as I was saying, it's their children that occupies those places, and most of the time, it is their own source of survival. People like this, they have their children everywhere. And if they move all of these things away, he said, it brings back the experience of when Obasanjo did the same thing in 1999, after 1999. So that automatically did not give them the regular quota system job that naturally is theirs. It's just like, you know what I mean? Easy peasy. So moving them away would deny them the opportunity. And what is that opportunity? He said prosperity. Prosperity is not for everybody. It's for them and their children schooling abroad. The same children they use stolen money to send abroad. So maybe you should understand that before you take any money to begin to spread hatred, begin to spread the other things that they have told you to begin to share. Okay? I never for once thought it was going to get to a stage where they would threaten Tinubu. And as it is now, what they believe, what these guys seems to be telling themselves now is that Tinubu is surrounded by people who are mostly Lagosians. The people is always been with in Southwest. And they kind of believe that these guys are mistaking Nigeria for Lagos. So Nigeria is not Lagos. So it is Lagos that is inside Nigeria. Or the only threat, because we've wasted enough time this evening, okay? I'm going to take you straight to Ndume. Then we'll take it on from there, right? Let's go. Ndume, oh yeah.
I'm supporting that.
Senator, let me take you away quickly from issue of security, but we are hearing some reactions coming from the upper part of the country in respect of the decision of the CBN to relocate some units and departments into Lagos. Under the Aviation Ministry, the FAAN also is also thinking of doing the same thing. But it does look like some northern elites are not happy with it. Is there a consensus about this notion?
Yes, it's not only about northern colleagues. This is a consensus because we only have one federal capital, and that is Abuja. All these Lagos boys that are thinking that Lagos is Nigeria are just misinforming or advising the president wrongly. The regulators of the financial institutions are supposed to be or are in Abuja. Do you want them to move back to where, because you say Lagos is the commercial capital? This is one of the mistakes, and I'm sure Mr. President will reverse it because it doesn't work. You can't have two capital. Is the CBN governor going to be operating from Lagos, and the headquarters of the CBN is in Lagos? Or do you now say that because majority of our oil is extracted from South-South, you take NNPC to South-South? Or is it because Nigeria's agricultural district is more in the north, you take Ministry of Agri to anywhere in the north? It doesn't work that way. And that is one of the problems that is cropping up. But I'm very sure, I'm very confident that Mr. President will look at this because he's a nationalist, not just a Lagos man. Some of these people think that, I'll repeat, some of them think that Lagos is Nigeria. Lagos is not Nigeria. Lagos is not the headquarters of Nigeria. The headquarters of Nigeria is in Abuja. It's not about North.
But
because Abuja is no man's land. It's not a Fulani.
This is for operational purposes.
Which is operational purpose? Why was the headquarters moved from Lagos to Abuja? Is it not because of the congestion?
It is not the whole of the CBN that is going to be moved, Senator. I'm just asking. The whole of the CBN is not, according to the CBN, it's just a unit or some units or department are going to be relocated to their Lagos office. They do have a Lagos office.
No. That doesn't work. If you have to do that, if you are talking about proximity and space, why don't you take them to Nasarawa there, or take them to Kogi, or take them to Kaduna, just nearby, so that you decongest the place? And I even don't see any issue of congestion. There is just going to be increase in cost because they will be running from Lagos to Abuja every time, spending more money. You end up spending more money, or exposing even the workers to unnecessary risk. This is a decision that is not well thought out, and I think the president will reverse it. I'm confident of that. And if that does not happen, of course, this is democracy. We'll know what to do.
And what would that be?
That is when the president refuses to do that.
What would be the reaction?
The reaction, of course, is that right now the reaction is we don't try to bring the issue of tribalism into it. I'm not a Hausa man, and I'm not a Fulani man, but I'm a northerner, and I'm a Nigerian first. And we say that since the headquarters of Nigeria was removed from Lagos because of congestion and because of inefficiency to Abuja, where it's more central and more of no man's land, because the Gwaris and the Bagis are the Gondora people are the only place. We have enough space there. CBN has offices that they can rent or build from their own to increase efficiency. But moving some departments to Lagos is not the best of ideas at all, or moving any agency on that matter.
Do you think that this has some political undertone, or it adds some other ulterior motive? Do you think?
No, I don't want to believe that, because I know the president that much. It's just that those political cartels that I told you that are in the corridors of power are trying to misinform the president. And we'll tell the president. The president will take action. He's someone that listens and corrects anything. I'm sure he will do that. Because there is not any efficiency in it. They don't think, some of them think that they know better than everybody. They don't know anything. When you don't know Nigeria, you only know Lagos. Then you start doing things as if Nigeria is Lagos. No, Lagos is in Nigeria.
Senator Ali Ndume.
That's a wrong decision.
Thank you so much indeed.
We will not accept it.
Yeah. Always a pleasure as always having you.
And besides, they are not doing any favor to Mr. President, because this will have political consequences.
Really?
Yes. I'm telling you this.
All right. We'll see how that goes. Thank you so much.
And these guys who are just sitting down there trying to hang on to Mr. President will not be there to amend the political mistakes or even to correct it, because they don't know anybody. They only know their offices, and they only know that they have brains. They think some of us that it's politics. Was it not politics that brought them into that office in the first place? If Tinubu had not won the election as the president, would the central bank governor be central bank governor?
Senator Ali Ndume,
thank you so much. To that office.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Mr. President to that office.
Yeah.
Was it vote from Lagos?
Yeah, we're out of time tonight. Thank you so much, Senator Ali Ndume.
Okay.
I appreciate your time tonight. A pleasure having you.
I'm supporting that.
Senator, let me take you away.
Did you hear that? Do you remember when I said that, hey, sorry, hang on, oh. Yeah, I hope my audio is still perfect, by the way, before I kind of continue firing, right? Please let me know if the audio and every other thing is still perfect. All right, I'll continue. Okay, thanks very much. But do you remember when I told the bat idiots, the bat starts, the Lagos Sabobakus, when I told them that they might all be having add-on, masturbating in public every time they hear the name Obi or they see those called obedient, and they believe that these are the people they would have to face for the next 4 years, abi 8 years, abi. I said they may have a rethink soon, because the people you thought gave you what do you call it? Gave you the mandate, the mandate. Those who validated the rigging that made you feel like the Northern Nigeria supported Tinubu. Right now, they are threatening him. And a lot of you will begin to kind of respond now. Anyway, Ndume said that relocating back these institutions would have political consequences. And those of you who are from Lagos who believe that you can rough anybody, you think you are smart. Do you think we are stupid? That's what they are saying. They say, do you think we are stupid? Do you think we don't know your game? So you sit around Tinubu. They're not born Tinubu well. This is not Tinubu. That's what Ndume is saying. You know, Ndume is like saying, no, they're not born and well. Tinubu, no now. But you know what is kind of surprising me in a way is that I don't know if you have observed, though, or maybe it's just me. Have you noticed that these people, this northern elite, as they call the northern dealers, they are more concerned about what Tinubu is not giving them, and they are complaining, right? Than they are complaining about the terrorism that has, crippled Nigeria to this point. I don't know if it's just me, Sha. And it can't just be me. Relocation of central bank operation. Relocation of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAAN, headquarters back to Lagos, is making these people to say they're not born Tinubu well. Not like they are angry. I mean, well, anyway, I'm just kind of like, because this is it, it don't start with that, Ndume said they're not born Tinubu well. All of you Lagos boys who think you can is referring to Cardoso Central Bank, referring to Gbajabia Mole, and the rest of all those guys. So they can tell. They can tell that this is Yoruba Lokan and all these guys. Lagos Lokan. It's not even Yoruba. Lagos Lokan. And some of these guys like Ndume and Co. Well, there will be those to watch out or to look out for. So the Lagos boys have now responded. Don't play dirty politics with Tinubu's move. That's the response. Tinubu's response is that do not play your dirty politics with Tinubu's move. Nothing is going to change it. It don't do. If you don't like it, when it gets to your turn, return them back to Sokoto or return them back to Kano. Lagos boys. And after that, Tinubu left Nigeria. But before he left, Anthony Blinken, the United States of America Secretary of State, is in Nigeria. I don't know if he's still there, but he got to Nigeria last night. And it is in what they call this multi-country tour to some few other countries. So he's stopping over in Nigeria. America used their power to ensure that Tinubu's records were not released on time, and when they were released, they were rejected. America publicly associating with a retired, and say no retired, but they say a retired drug lord, certificate forger, election rigger, somebody that actually like destroyed the institution of democracy. America is associating with it is America. So Blinken is in Nigeria saying that it is all in effort to make sure that they bring Nigeria back to democracy, as well as there are so many American countries interested in investing in Nigeria. Blinken, give us one name. Give us one American company name that told you they are desperate to invest in Nigeria. But you know something? They are all politicians, Abi. Blinken is not there because of Nigeria, this or that. All right? And for those who might have an idea why he's there. So yesterday evening, he arrived in Nigeria.
Come down now.
Was when he got to Nigeria yesterday. This visit is not to benefit Nigeria. I mean, like, save for the photo ops and all of that stuff that you see all the time. It's just like, it's like the time when Sheyi Makinde went to Aso Rock to go and present the report of Ibadan bomb blast to Tinubu. How many of you remember when Sanwo-Iku also went to present the NSAS report and the damages in Lagos to Bokuwari? Did you hear anything after that? Tinubu is in Abuja, and all these tragedies are happening. Nigerians are being slaughtered left, right, and center, front and back. But they still have to take report to him. To say, Mr. President, this is the houses. You see this picture. How many of you remember that NSAS time when Sanwo-Iku was pointing to pictures of places for Bokuwari? So what happened after that? Nothing. People have been killed in Mangu. Properties have been destroyed. Before then, Plateau State have not really known any real peace. In the hand of Islamic militias, Islamic terrorists, Fulani jihadists. So, Tinubu left Nigeria, but before he left, they brought Blinken into the Old Rock, where he met with Kolu. I think I have that. I do.
Who's Hola? Hola? Hola?
So, wetin Blinken they do for Abuja after being received by Tagat, or what's that guy's name, the foreign affairs minister. So they met with Kolu briefly, and Blinken and Tagat now spoke to the press. So this is what Blinken said he came to do. They wanted Nigeria to do something about the victims of NSAS, police brutality, on the side. They wanted Nigeria to bring Mali to democracy. They say if Kolu pass that place, Omado, Kulele Jantani, they no born and wells, go cross the side anyway. So, however, they came to come and seek his further support to make sure they bring Mali back after all failed attempts. America will continue to support Nigeria in the fight against terror. And that is why the American Foreign Secretary, Secretary of State is visiting some countries in this Sahel. America said they supported Tinubu economic policies because even though the policies are a little bit hard now, America believed that they are going to work for Nigeria, blah, blah, blah. Blinken, Tom Blinken. I want weary. I want you to hear from him so that you will probably like, Kilo Shembi, Dr. Agbede, the people that you told that Tinubu to report to, FBI. Now, person where they pay them, okay, anyway, it's different. Blinken, ladies and gentlemen.
And for me, it's great to be back in Nigeria. I mentioned to the president, actually, this is my third visit as Secretary of State because one of the very first things I did as Secretary was to visit Nigeria virtually. Remember the days when we weren't traveling because of COVID, but one of the first things that we did do was organize a virtual visit here to Nigeria. Then I came here the following year, and it's very good to be back here today. At the UN General Assembly just this past September, President Tinubu said, and I quote, "Africa is nothing less than the key to the world's future." I'm here at Nigeria at President Biden's behest, and earlier this week we were in Cabo Verde, in Cote d'Ivoire, and we'll be going on to Angola because we share that conviction. Africa has shaped our past. It is shaping the present. It will shape our future. The United States is committed to strengthening genuine partnerships on the continent to work to solve shared challenges and also to deliver on the promise and the fundamental aspirations of our peoples. Nigeria, as Africa's largest country, largest economy, largest democracy, is essential to that effort. And we are doing a lot of work together already to drive in a positive direction. We're driving climate action as partners in the Global Methane Coalition. We're pushing for permanent representation for African voices in the UN Security Council, in other international organizations that need to reflect the realities of today, not just the day that they were created many, many years ago. We're working and collaborating to support the development and use of artificial intelligence for good. With 30 other Atlantic countries, we're driving blue economic development, environmental protection, science and technology exchange through a new partnership for Atlantic cooperation. Today, as the Foreign Minister mentioned, with President Tinubu, with the Foreign Minister and other colleagues, we spoke about a range of common priorities, including our focus on accelerating economic growth and opportunity here in Nigeria. This is a place of extraordinary innovation, extraordinary dynamism. I've had the opportunity to visit many times over the years. I've seen that each and every time, and I expect to see more of that in Lagos tomorrow. American entrepreneurs, American companies are eager to partner with and invest in Nigeria's economy, particularly in the tech sector. We have tech giants that are teamed up with Nigerian partners to help meet President Tinubu's 1 million digital jobs initiative. Other companies are hard at work laying undersea cables, using satellite technology to expand access to the internet. Our tech incubators are fostering Nigeria's next startups. Our venture capital companies are working to finance them. So we want to work in partnership to help drive Nigeria's technological revolution which is creating jobs, it's growing businesses, and it's spurring innovations in both of our countries. Because one of the things we've learned from these partnerships is that it benefits us as much as any place or any company that we're investing in. We're learning a lot from it, we're getting a lot from it. And one of the initiatives that President Biden laid out, the Digital Transformation with Africa initiative, we see as particularly energized, and it's a particular area of focus for us. Now, Nigeria offers real, clear, compelling opportunities for investors. At the same time, I think it's no secret that there remain some long-term challenges that need to be overcome to really unlock the full potential. Tackling corruption, making it easier for foreign companies to repatriate capital, these will all pull in a transformative direction and pull in transformative investment. I know that President Tinubu is focused on these challenges, and we also welcome his very bold economic reforms to unify the currency and fuel subsidies. We also recognize that in the short term, these reforms have created pain for vulnerable communities. I spoke about some ways that the United States can support Nigerians while the government carries out these essential reforms and works to protect those who may, again, in the short term, be negatively affected. We also discussed our very consequential work on public health, something that the Minister mentioned. One of the things I must say as an American I'm proudest of is PEPFAR, initiated by President Bush, carried on by successive presidents of both parties. Over the last 20 years, PEPFAR has saved well over 20 million lives and changed for the better many more. Over the last 20 years, we've invested $8.3 billion in HIV and tuberculosis.
Nuisance lele.